Okay, this next example is a tough one for me because it was from the Mosconi Cup 2019, and I put it in this line of videos to show you first of all that I don't only want to show the great things that I've done on and look at every rack I ran, but also a rack where I made a complete blunder of a choice, and this is because of the highest level of pressure. And I go over this in the course, and this is phase number 4. If you talk about levels of pressure, there's actually 4 phases. And what it does to you if you're breathing poorly, if the pressure can get to you, it affects the way you think sometimes. And we're gonna see a good example of that in this rack. That was actually a pretty decent shot. I almost hooked Skylar there, wasn't easy. So I wasn't too unsatisfied with this one, and the balls are laying pretty funky. I can't see from here if he can see that ball or not. But I was struggling in this tournament. This had a couple of reasons, which are not very interesting to mention here. But if I just focus on myself, I had a hard time. I lost the first couple of matches. I missed the ball in the opening doubles game to have a chance to win that match, so it affected my confidence a little bit. And I was battling uphill, which was pretty hard. And it's only races to 5, and it's great players. So if you don't get off to a good start, it's tough. You can fall behind really quickly. So here I'm down 1-0. I was jumping really good this tournament. I remember that. So here we get a jump shot, and after this we can see the mental error that I make. First of all, this jump was really nice, but right here I'm totally relaxed now, looking at this layout from up top, and I'm thinking, just draw the ball back a hair. See, I have very little angle. Just draw it back about 3 inches to the middle of the table and take the position from there. But because I wasn't feeling that good, I want to try and get closer to the ball, and I totally misjudged the cloth. I was even afraid of scratching in the left corner from what we're looking at now. So it was a mental error. My mind was not functioning in a normal way because of the pressure. So clearly I'm frustrated because I also have the shot clock. I had a big opportunity to make it 1-1. I blow that. I already lost 3 matches before that. So of course I'm not happy, and I have to go over this ball, kick at it. I have no time, and that's a tough shot. So looking back at the layout, I could have gone 3 rails on the 3 ball, get on the 4, and I would have had really nice positions. So this is an example that we're all human and that we're all struggling sometimes. But it's like Brené Brown says, and I find this super fascinating. She says, if you're gonna go into the arena and do what you love to do, you're gonna get your ass kicked. And what that means is, it doesn't mean that you're gonna lose every time. It means that the better you get, the more you're gonna be in the spotlight, and the more you will be criticized. And the reason that I didn't read or cared about any of the criticism is actually because also what she said, and I find this very fascinating quote, and it's probably the best one that I've learned last year. She said, I'm only interested in your feedback about what I've done in the arena if you're also in the arena with me getting your ass kicked. And I just find that so cool, because it means that if you also put yourself out there and take chances and try to get the best out of yourself, try to be in the spotlight, take risks, then you know how it is. And that's super cool. But if you're just sitting there in the cheap seats and not doing anything, not taking any chances, you have dreams but you don't go after them, then you just shouldn't say anything, or I'm just not going to listen to it. So it helped me with my attitude about criticism, and I just wanted to share that because it can guard you against people that might be criticizing you. And if you value what you do and you want to go out there and do it because it makes you happy, it makes you feel alive, then just stick with it and you'll get through it. So that was an example of a bad mental error, but I'm still alive, and I keep coming back. So there you go. Okay, the next example is from the Whirlpool Masters again, the finals versus Shane. Of course, a special tournament for me with the injury. And the reason I chose this rack is just to show you that if you go through a tournament or even some matches sometimes, and you've done all the hard work, mentally sticking with it, maybe you weren't feeling that great for a while, you had some poor matches, but sometimes these poor matches where you're really struggling is also the best training and the best practice. I was doing a little dance there to try to get the one ball a little further. But what I've learned over the years is that is actually super good training. So now you get a few hours off or maybe a day off, and you've trained yourself to become a better player actually within the tournament by going through those tough matches. And then here you can see that after a few matches in this tournament, my confidence was really starting to grow. And sometimes maybe you would push out here, but I was starting to really feel good. I knew the table and I said, you know what, boom, I'm going through the front door. And there you see the reward. If you take assertive action, and especially in 9-ball, you cannot duck forever. You gotta go out there and take it if you want to win. Because these players that you're facing are such a high level, you have to take it away. You cannot sometimes let it to the table. So this is just a great example of really starting to find a groove within this tournament. And of course the balls are laying pretty nice now, but it was just a great final. Because of the injury, I was really, I had a hard time, of course, coming back. I was out of stroke. But within the tournament, I was working my way in stroke. And because the last two matches of this event versus Carl and Shane, I was pain-free. And that really meant for me that the chains were coming off. I had no fear of my body anymore, of pain. And it just escalated from there. My feeling of the table, my confidence, it just came back. Of course, these balls are not the toughest shots in the world, but it's a great example that you will get rewarded. Shane's having a bit of a hard time there himself in the chair. He has to work on that composure and some self-talk, which is tough if you're down and it's a winner break and the guy's getting shots after the break. Then you feel like, oh man, this is going to be a hard one, and you really have to stay with it and wait for your chances. So just a quick example there of a nice reward after hard work.
Yeah! And there you see it.
1-9, the title was on the line.